Hi friends, boy, it's been different this week for us and for our family. I really want to thank you for the support that you have shown to our family in the midst of our quarantine. I'm filming this recording this on Friday. We're still awaiting our results. Thank you to those of you that have reached out to support and just to check in. Thanks to those of you that have brought groceries by the house. Thanks for all those who have helped pick up in place of my physical absence at church, including those who are helping to lead worship this morning. We're exploring in the 5 Sundays of Lent. We're exploring the I am statements of Jesus in the Gospel of John. Really, there are 7 of them that come to us from the Gospel of John, but we're going to just focus on 5 of them. And I'm adapting this series from Caroline Lewis, who's a biblical scholar and professor at Luther Seminary up in Minnesota. We're going to look at the I am statements of Jesus. Now, Jesus in the Gospel of John utters I am 7 different times. As I said, we're going to focus on 5 different times that Jesus says I am. And he follows up the I am statements with several different descriptive metaphors. I am the bread of life is the I am statement that we're gonna look at today. Now, maybe you have been in conversation and you've perhaps overheard someone else in the same room as you. Maybe when we used to go to restaurants, you heard someone across the way and they would share a phrase or they would say something and your ear was just kind of immediately drawn to that. Every once in a while, I would hear someone across the way that would be talking about the Wisconsin Badgers, and because I'm a Wisconsin Badger fan, I would hear that, and it would just draw me in. Jesus, in the Gospel of John, several different times, draws us in and bids us or invites us to pay special attention. It's not that the other words are not important, but especially when Jesus says, I am. What Jesus is doing is he is playing on the Greek and the Hebrew understanding of the name that should not be named. Go all the way back to the Old Testament when Moses encounters God at the burning bush. And Moses says to God, to this burning bush, who are you? And the burning bush cries out, I am that I am. It's the same phrase in a different language from Hebrew to Greek that Jesus is using to draw our attention, to say to us, pay attention. The first of the I am statements that we're going to explore is I am the bread of life. It comes to us in John chapter 6. You just heard those words. And it invites us to reflect on the things that fill us, the things that feed us, things that animate us. There's a scene in Parks and Rec, a pretty famous television series, in which the character played by Chris Pratt, he discovers that food turns into fuel. In a funny way, because of a sitcom, he after he discovers that food becomes fuel, he kind of punches the air and he says, "That was spaghetti." And then he kicks something and he says, "That was a cookie."
Yes. Did you know that the food you eat becomes energy? Yeah. Boom, that's spaghetti. Nachos. It's a cookie.
When Jesus says, I am the bread of life, what Jesus is asking you and me, what are the things that fuel us? What are the things that cause us to jump or to move? What are the things that give us life? Now, over my shoulder is a painting done by one of the artists in our congregation. Really like it. But one of the things that I really like about it is I know that this artist is filled with joy and filled with peace and filled with contentment and filled with satisfaction when she's painting things like this. When Jesus says, I am the bread of life in the Gospel of John, one of the things that Jesus is asking us is, what are the things that fill us? What are the things that animate us? What are the things that bring us contentment and peace and joy? And he's inviting us. He's inviting you and me to find peace, contentment, joy. And he's inviting us to be animated by him. Heard of individuals, families, or friends that have made the mistake of putting the wrong kind of fuel in their car at the gas station. Drive down to Come and Go, perhaps, or to Casey's, and without thinking about it, you unhook the NOS and you put it in your tank, and you start filling up. And then before you know it, you realize, oh no, that's a diesel fuel. Or perhaps you're just not paying attention and you start putting regular fuel into a diesel engine. Now, if you've ever done that, you know that it does not work. One fuel cannot fuel a car that's made to burn another thing. Gasoline cannot fuel a diesel engine, or a diesel cannot fuel a gasoline engine. It just doesn't work that way. That's true too of our lives. That when we try to fill up on the wrong things, that we're not going to have the life that God has intended for each one of us. Now, my wife, for Valentine's Day, she made the family a cheesecake. Now, she's tried over the course of the last couple of months even, she's tried out a couple of different recipes. And I think this time she really got it right. It was incredible. And if I had my way, I would have eaten the whole thing. It was good. But here's the problem. If you only fill up on cheesecake, life isn't going to go so well for you. I am no picture of health. I know that. But I also know that I've tried recently to work out during the day at noon. That seems to work well in my schedule. To get in, to do work in the morning, to leave for a portion in the midday, and then to come back and then to attend some meetings or do some other things in the evening. But I've found that when I do that, and when I just drink coffee, or if I maybe just grab a roll or a donut or something along the way, that when I get to my workout, things really don't go well. And I know that if I eat the right amount of protein and a few carbs and hydrate really well, that workout, it goes a whole lot better when I'm fueled by the right things. When Jesus asks his disciples, when Jesus proclaims to his disciples, I am the bread of life, he's asking us, what are the things that fill us? What are the things that animate us? And sometimes, here and there, cheesecake is really, really good. And I would even say that it might even be a divine experience. This cheesecake was really, really good, Carrie. But just that, and only that, life is not going to go well. So too, if we try to fill ourselves with all kinds of things and we fail to be filled by the promise of Jesus' love for you and me and the world, we're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. As we begin the season of Lent, and as we check out these different I am statements in the Gospel of John, I want to invite you this week to pay attention to the things that fill you, that fuel you, that animate you. And I want to invite you to find ways to let Jesus fill you and animate you. Because when Jesus does, our life is filled with fullness, with completeness, with satisfaction, with forgiveness, and with love. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. How might you be filled by Jesus this day?